Hey, welcome to your practice. My name's Sophie and I'm going to take you through a very specific practice today for people with pelvic pain or pubic symphysis dysfunction, where you have pain in your pubic bone. Happens sometimes during pregnancy. I'm currently dealing with this pain right now, and over the past several weeks of having this pain, I have learned to adapt my yoga practice and even help improve this pain. So we're going to do a full body yoga practice with strengthening, stretching, the whole body, but keeping this condition in mind so that we don't aggravate anything. So we are going to get started in a tabletop. I have a blanket here so that I can put padding underneath my knees, but you don't need a blanket if you don't care about the padding or you're on softer surface. So we're going to get started in a tabletop position on the hands and knees. And we're going to start by warming up the wrists and the bottoms of the feet. So tuck your toes and start to shift front to back. Now you might find you need to take your knees wider, create space for the belly. And this practice is great for all trimesters. I'm just entering my third trimester, and so you'll see me adapting, and I'll be instructing you on how to adapt the practice for a bigger belly. Now we'll take some circles around. Make sure you're kind of sitting all the way back towards your hips. Now, another thing to note as we move through this practice is that everyone's pubic symphysis pain is going to present itself in different ways. For me, sometimes I feel it on the back of the hip, and there are certain movements that hurt others and don't hurt others. So switch directions. So really listen to your body. If something is painful, I'll tell you right now from experience, that's a sign to back off. Pushing through the pain will only make it worse. Let's take one more circle here. And then we'll come into a child's pose. So you'll sit back, toes together, knees wide apart, and forehead to the earth. Crawl your fingertips forward, sit your hips back, settle in. And as you settle, bring your awareness to your breath. As you inhale, imagine you're filling up the whole area of the pelvis with breath, expanding. And as you exhale, you settle. Inhale, there's an expansiveness through the pelvis and the lower back. Exhale. One more deep breath. And start to walk the hands back up. We'll come back into table. Option to turn your hands out and around so the fingers face your knees. And we'll move through cat-cows. So inhaling and arching the back, exhaling, rounding. This might feel really intense on your forearms, and if so, if it's too much, you can turn your hands around. Otherwise, keep them where they are. Slowly moving through cat-cows. We'll return back into neutral onto the hands and knees. Tuck your toes, walk your hands back, and sit back on your heels for toes pose. Take your arms up to the sky, rather. Bend your left elbow so the left elbow comes to the back of the neck, and bring your right hand to your left elbow and take a big side bend to the right. Come back up to center, reach your arms up, bend your left elbow, grab onto right elbow, with left hand, and take a side bend to the left. Rise back up to center, reach your arms up, and cactus your arms. Just keep your spine long and neutral so you're not back bending, but then squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other on your back. Reach the arms back up. Release your hands down to the ground. Now you're going to take your knees wide, so the belly has room between the knees. Just keep your heels lifted and walk your hands down. Let your head drop down. Round and dome through your upper back. Bring your knees down and walk your hands out into tabletop. Extend your right leg straight back behind you and press back through your heel so you stretch through your right calf muscles. Knit the ribs in, straighten through the arms. Bring your right knee back down, extend your left leg back, press back through your heel, stretch through your calf muscles on the left leg. And bring your knee back down to the ground. Now we're going to lay on our side here. Let's lay on left side. Lay on your left side. And straighten your left leg and cross your right foot on top of your left. And in fact, for me, it feels good to have some padding underneath the hip here because my floor is kind of hard. So what we're going to do right now is strengthen the adductor muscles. So you really want to be leaned all the way on your left side body. And your right hand could go on the ground, it can go on your right knee. And you're going to lift your left leg up and lower it down. Lift and lower. Now keep going, and you're lifting as high as you can. We're going to work to strengthen the adductor muscles because this can really help with pubic symphysis dysfunction. So keep going, lifting and lifting as high as you can. And after we strengthen these muscles really well, we're going to stretch them. Both things that can help with this pain. And in general, it's really good to strengthen the adductors, often neglected in our movement practice. Now we're going to do 10 more of these. And after that, we're going to hold 8, 7. So maybe you're starting to feel it now, or you've been feeling it. 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, hold. Make sure that left foot is flexed. Lift your left leg a little bit higher, a little bit higher. Now we're going to pulse here, little pulses, little tiny pulses. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set your leg down. Good. Now we'll switch sides. So slowly press yourself up, or you're rolling to the other side. And I want you to have your right leg extended and your left leg on top. Right forearm down. And when you're ready, lift and lower. Lift and lower. So we're going for the burn, so we're just going to go a little while longer. You might notice one side feels easier or harder than the other. Just something to take note of. So we've got 10 more of these. 10, 9, then we're going to hold 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now you're going to hold. 1, hold, hold. Flex the toes back. Lift the leg higher. I know it hurts. Now we're going to pulse here. Pulse, pulse, pulse. We have about 20 pulses. Ten more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Gently make your way back into tabletop. Take your left leg out to the side. So it looks like this, left leg out to the side. And right knee stays down, then start to shift front to back. And just go where you can feel a stretch. You might have to make big movements back and forth. You might lift the toes up off the ground. And then pause anywhere where it feels good, where it feels like you're stretching that area on the inner thighs, right where we just strengthen the adductor muscles. And plant your hands down again if they're not already down. Plant the whole bottom of the left foot down. And lift your left arm up. Bring your left fingertips behind your head. Take an inhale. Now on exhale, bring your left elbow towards your right wrist. Inhale, lift back up, open. Exhale, close. And again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, close. Stay here. Option to extend your left arm over to the right and crawl your right fingertips forward. It's like a thread the needle variation. Breathe into the belly. Plant down through your right hand. Lift your left arm back up. And then bring your left hand down. Set your left knee down and extend your right leg out to the right. And then same thing here. We're kind of shifting front to back. Finding where we feel a stretch. Again, keep in mind, big reminder, that if anything makes your pain worse, then back off and do something else. Maybe pause here wherever it feels good. Remember that everyone's pain is different. So it's hard to create one class that works for everyone. So it's up to you to listen to your body. And then we'll shift back onto the hands and lift the right arm up. Bring the right fingertips behind the head. Create that nice big wing of your right arm. Inhale. Exhale, right elbow to left wrist. Inhale, open back up. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close, and maybe weave your right arm to the left. Crawl your left fingertips forward. Plant down through your left hand. Lift your right arm back up. Put your right hand down and bring your knees back together. Then we're going to step the right foot outside of the right hand and come into a lizard lunge. Slide your back leg back. Now, we are in a split stance position with the legs. If this is aggravating your pain, back off, do something else for now, and then wait till we get back to our legs to being together. We'll be doing a lot more stuff in this class, a lot more things to help, but you have to listen to your body. I'm just taking a moment here to settle in to the hips, rocking a little side to side. And come up onto your fingertips. If you have blocks, those could be helpful underneath your hands. And we're going to straighten out the right leg into a wide half splits. You might flex and point your right foot a few times. And then flex the foot and stay there. Enjoying the stretch on the back of the right leg. And we bend the knee back into lizard. And we'll step back into a tabletop position. And left foot steps outside of the left hand. And again, we're just settling in here. I know dealing with this pelvic pain while pregnant is not easy, but the fact that you're here right now practicing and doing what you can, not giving up, shows that you're a true warrior. And I'm proud of you. And I hope you're proud of yourself. Rise up onto your fingertips. And straighten out the left leg into half splits. Maybe you slide your left foot forward a little bit and then flex and point your left foot. And just focus on your breath all the while. Long, slow inhales and exhales. Mindful movement. Flex your left foot and take a few breaths there. Chest moves forward and up as you find length in your spine within your half splits. And then we'll plant the hands and slowly step back into tabletop. And just take a moment to take the knees wide and shift front to back, kind of just resetting into our pelvis. All right, friends, let's make our way up into a standing position. So move any props out of the way, slowly stand on up and come to the center of your mat. And I'm just turning to face you so that you can see me. And again, to help stabilize and strengthen, we're going to do some squats here. I find that squats are the one thing that is not aggravating for the pubic symphysis pain. So we're going to do a lot of them so we can get our workout in. So bring your feet wider than hips distance, toes slightly turned out, and hands to your heart or wherever it's comfortable. And first we're going to do a slow squat down and come on up. And if it's painful, try lessening the depth. So maybe just don't do as deep of squats. If you're able to go deep, go deep. Weight is even in the feet. Toes, weight is in your heels, then toes kind of lift up a little bit. So let's keep going. And as you rise up out of your squat, knit the ribs in and strong core. Hug the baby in. If you want, you can put your hands on your belly. Let's keep going. And if you want, you can pick up the pace a little bit. Make sure your weight is even in your heels. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale, exhale. Stay with me. Now we're going to add on to this. We're going to start lifting the heels up into a calf raise. So down, up, lift the heels. Down, up. If it's too much, skip that part. Just do squats. We're doing 10 more here. Last 7. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Shake it out. Catch your breath. And come to the front of the mat. And stand tall in Tadasana, mountain pose. We're still working to slow down the breath, in through the nose, out of the mouth. We're going to focus on just the calves now. So bring the hands on the hips. Lift your heels. Lower, but don't set your heels all the way down. Lift, lower, just hover. Lift, lower, hover. Keep going. This is one thing we could totally train more while we're dealing with this limiting condition. Might as well train the calves. Get strong. Calf raises could go even all the way up to the glutes if we do enough of them. So we're just continuing to go up and down. Now let's start to pick up the pace. Faster, like you're doing pulses. Keep going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now take your feet wider than hips distance. Reach your arms up to the sky and then bend the knees and fold down. So your feet are as wide as they need to be for your forward fold. Just enjoy this fold. Let your head relax completely. Maybe grab onto your elbows, sway side to side. All right, friends, we're going to make our way back down into a tabletop. Bring your knees down to the ground and come onto the hands and knees. A little bit of core and pelvic floor work here. So from tabletop, you're going to inhale and relax the belly. Just exhale. As you inhale, relax the pelvic floor, relax the belly so the belly gets big. And just exhale. Now on this next one, do the same thing. Inhale, relax pelvic floor. Now exhale, bring the pelvic floor up and in as you wrap the belly in towards the midline. So hug baby in. Now keep breathing, but maintain that engagement. Tuck your toes and lift your knees just an inch off the ground. Keep hugging baby in towards the midline. We're holding here for 10 seconds. Hug the baby in. That's super important here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set your knees down onto the ground. Now inhale, relax the belly and pelvic floor. Exhale, hug baby in towards midline. Keep breathing. Extend your right arm forward and your left leg back. Hug the baby in. Get longer for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand and knee back down. Inhale, relax pelvic floor, relax belly. Exhale, hug everything in towards the midline. Extend your left arm forward. Keep breathing, right arm back. Push down into the ground. Extend your right leg further back, left arm further forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hand and knee down to the ground. Sit back on your heels. If you need to sit on a block or a blanket, feel free to rest your hands on your knees. And now we're going to take the arms out wide and take the right arm underneath the left arm for eagle arms. Bring the elbows forward and up. Breathe into the upper back. We're stretching the muscles along the inner shoulder blades. And unwind the arms and take left arm under right. Eagle arms. Unwind your arms. Take a couple shoulder rolls. And we're going to make our way into downward facing dog. So tuck your toes and lift your hips. Shake out your head. Keep a slight bend to the knees. And then walk your hands to the back of the mat, feet nice and wide. Turn your toes out slightly, bend your knees, and come into a squat. So a nice high squat here. Then we're going to pulse here. Pulse. The weight in the heels. Toes might be able to lift off the ground a little bit. Knit the ribs in. We're going to pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand tall. Calf raises here, hands on your hips. Lift your heels high, lower them down. Lift and lower, lift and lower. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to turn your toes in and your heels out. Bear with me, I know this is kind of funky. Lift and lower. If you feel really unbalanced, take your feet a little wider. Balance might be a little harder when you're pregnant. Do the best you can. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. I know my balance was a little off. Toes out, heels in. Ready and go. Lift and lower. This is our last one, last round of calf raises. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whoo, that burns. Shake it out. Okay, now we're gonna do some squats again here. But let's add in some arms so it's kind of like chair pose. So again, feet wide, space for belly, space for baby. Bend your knees, reach your arms up, and then stand up tall again with your arms by your sides. So chair pose and stand. It's a wide chair pose. We're involving the arms here, so it definitely makes it more challenging. And if it's too much, you can always keep your hands here at your chest. Get low. Nice quick pace so we kind of get the heart rate up a little bit. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stand tall. Find your breath. Now I want you to turn sideways on your mat and take the legs wide for a goddess pose. Turn your toes out, heels in, and we're gonna sit low into goddess. And just find some movement here, side to side. Visualize the wide open pelvis. And then find stillness here, find center. And then we're going to pulse here. Option to interlace your hands and flip your palms up, or if that's too much, arms into cactus for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stand. Arms down, hands on your hips. Turn your toes out, or your heels out, toes slightly in. And we're gonna go into Prasarita Padottanasana, a wide-legged fold. So slowly hinge at the hips, slow. Hands to the ground. If your pubic bone is really aggravated and having your legs wide is too much, and bring them closer. Let's keep the hands right under the shoulders, making a 90-degree shelf with the arms as you shift weight forward. Let the head hang down. And then start to bend your knees, put your hands on your hips. Slowly stand all the way up and bring your feet back to normal hip distance, Tadasana. Reach your arms up overhead. Grab onto your left wrist with your right hand and take a side bend to the right side. Then slightly bend your knees and either stay here or take your left foot behind you over to the right. And slight bend to the knees as you continue to bend. So the stretch now goes all the way down into the outer left hip. And slowly come back to center. Grab onto the opposite wrist and go up and over to the left. Slight bend to the knees. Option to take your left leg back and over. Or sorry, your right leg back and over. And just be cautious when you step back and out of this. A couple more breaths here though. So you might have to take a few baby steps as you rise back up. Arms up. Release your arms down. Interlace your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders back. And take your feet as wide as your mat. Come to the front of your mat if you're not there already. Slight bend to the knees as you fold down. Arms up and over. Feel how your weight shifts into your toes. Release your arms down and set your knees down onto the ground. And then we're going to come into a seat. So you're going to take your legs out in front of you, as wide as the mat, and bring your hands behind you and kind of lean back onto your hands. And we're going to drop the knees over to one side. Just take note of how this feels. Couple more breaths. And then we'll take the knees up and drop them over to the left slowly. Bring the knees back up and gently sit up. We're going to come into fire log pose. So you're going to take your right leg over top of your left leg and sit tall. And so I'll turn to face you so you can see that we're working to stack the knees on top of each other. If you have more tightness in your hips, you might look something like this. What you'll do is, if this is really uncomfortable, you'll take your front foot and bring it forward. So you're basically in a crisscross position. Really simple modification, but still a great stretch. So once you're there, take a moment to just let that top knee kind of settle. And the thigh settles. This is a big hip stretch here. And if you have more in you, you can start to go forward. Maybe you even put your hands down or forearms to the earth. And stay for 3 more deep breaths. Slowly rise on up. Then extend your left leg out in front of you and keep your right knee bent with your legs kind of wide apart for space for baby. Flex your left foot. This is my favorite twist to do during pregnancy. If you've taken my other classes, you probably know that by now. Bring your right fingertips behind you and just hold on to your right knee with your left hand. Lengthen and twist. And you can choose to keep your neck neutral, over your chin over your chest, or you can look over your right shoulder. Each exhale takes you a little deeper into the twist. Then we'll slowly turn the face forward. Let your right knee drop out to the right. Let your left leg move out to the left a little bit. And take your left forearm and bring it on your left thigh. Then put your right hand on your belly and start to rotate your belly and your torso to the ceiling. Then reach your right arm up, right hand behind the head to make a wing shape. And then continue to rotate. And maybe your left arm reaches further forward, so your left hand even grabs onto your foot. So we're in this revolved shape. Parvrita Janu Shirshasana. One more breath. And slowly rise up. Good. Okay. Now we're going to do fire log pose with the left leg on top. So you're stacking your legs like fire logs, also known as double pigeon, or you're putting your top foot forward for a slight modification. Push down into your left thigh. And then if you want, you can keep that back flat, so spine long, as you go forward. Two more breaths. All right, start to slowly rise up. And extend your right leg straight out. Left knee bends, legs are kind of wide. Right hand to outer left knee, left fingertips behind you. Flex your right foot. Twist to the left. Again, neck is neutral or look back. Slowly turn back to center. Let your left knee fall out to the left. Take your right leg out a little wider. And then put your right forearm on your right thigh. Put your left hand on belly and rotate torso to the left. Then left fingertips behind the head. Maybe your right arm reaches more towards your right foot. Continue to rotate your rib cage up to the sky. And then slowly rise up. Take your legs straight out in front of you. And shake them out. And then take your feet just as wide as the mat, or maybe a little wider, for me a little wider. Space for belly, we're going to fold forward. So you're going to sit tall and walk the hands forward. So you want to have enough room for your belly, and then your head drops down. And so this is more of a yin style pose. Let's let the feet relax completely. Maybe even shake out the legs as a reminder to relax. You might be further upright here, or you might be down further. You could use your hands like two fists on top of each other as a pillow. And if it's comfortable and you want to take the legs a little wider, you can. Just let your whole body settle into this shape. Slowly begin to rise up. Take your time. We're going to come into a seat here. So feel free to build your seat. I'm going to use a blanket for some height. I highly recommend sitting on something, pillow, blanket, block. We're going to do one more shoulder stretch, and then we will do a closing meditation, or a seated shavasana. But let's take the left arm straight up and bring the left hand to the back of the neck. Try to get the elbow up, pointing straight up. Then take your right arm out wide. Internally rotate the right arm so the thumb is facing behind you. And then bring the hand behind and see if you can get your hands towards each other, or you're just holding onto your shirt, or you're clasping, or you're grabbing onto a strap. And just creating so much space in the torso and the ribs. Feel free to close the eyes. One more breath, friends. Unwind your arms. Reach your right arm up. Hand to the back of the neck, elbow points up. Do this step by step with me. It's much better to slow it down. Left arm out wide. Now internally rotate the shoulder. Thumb faces down. And then hand comes behind. You can clasp hands or grab onto your shirt or bra, or don't even grab onto anything. Just let the hands be there. And you might wiggle into center. Find your center. Close the eyes. One more deep breath. Unwind your arms. Bring your chin down to your chest. I forgot we're doing some neck stretches too. Tilt your right ear towards the right shoulder. Bring your chin back to your chest. And tilt your left ear to your left shoulder. Chin comes back down. Head comes up. Now, keeping the head neutral, not down, we just tilt the right ear to the right shoulder. So we just go into lateral flexion. And just make sure you're cautious here. If you have any neck pain currently, then you want to be really, really gentle with stretching or not do it at all. Bring your chin back to your chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Bring the head back to center. Close the eyes. Settle in, get comfortable. Just a couple minutes here, but stay with me. Breathe with your baby. Into the belly. And we'll be here in silence for a minute or two, and I'll guide you back out. Begin to deepen your breath. Blink the eyes open. Bring your hands together at your heart into prayer. Thank you so, so much for practicing with me. Please let me know what you thought. Let me know if this was helpful or if you want more of these kinds of classes. I'm happy to create more of them, both for me and for you. I wish you luck on the rest of your pregnancy journey, and I will see you next time. Thank you.